Near mint condition, the home of collected editions.
That cover's so awesome.
This is Mr. Chris Claremont, a legend.
Melanie goes,
Tired.
It is Tuesday, all you minties. That means it's time to take an advanced look at all of the collected editions coming out from Marvel Comics this week. So, let's go ahead and get started. And welcome back, everybody. Before going any further, a big thank you to David Gabriel and the fine folks at Marvel for sending us advanced copies of all of these collected editions coming out this week. And that week is the week of March 18th or 19th, depending on where you get your books. Sometimes I forget to say what week it is. Oh, heck, even the year, 2025. So if you're watching this, I don't know, 20 years from now, hey, how am I doing? Doing okay? Still doing YouTube thing? Is that still happening? Yeah, hopefully. Things are going great. Don't forget to hit that like button, whether you're watching this 20 years from now or today. I've already done an overview of the gallery edition of the Uncle Scrooge and the Infinity Dime. So that also comes out this week. And then all the Omnis that were coming out this week. So we do have a new Treasury edition, a new Epic Collection line, the Ultimate Epic Collections, and then 3 new series, or 1 mini-series and 2 ongoing series. And as always, I'll leave timestamps in the description of the video, so you can jump around in case you're just curious about 1 or 2 titles. All right. Let's go ahead and start. This week, we're going to kick it off with the new Ultimate Spider-Man, Volume 2, The Paper. Ultimate Spider-Man by Jonathan Hickman, Volume 2. And one thing I want to let people know that, because it can get a little confusing, especially when you have a title called Ultimate Spider-Man, this is the classic Ultimate Spider-Man, the Ultimate Universe that started in 2000. This is the new Ultimate Universe from 2024, the one that Jonathan Hickman started. So there is a difference. I'm going to be talking about 2 Ultimate Spider-Man titles, but this is not a volume 1 for this right here. This is a trade paperback of the new ongoing series. This is the stuff that Brian Michael Bendis and Mark Bagley created, which I'll talk about here in a little bit, in 2000, which is crazy. It's 25 years old. When the hell the time, I can't even talk. That's 25 years ago. Speaking of which, this is the first trade paperback right here, Married with Children. Love that title. This one here is The Paper. So this collects Ultimate Spider-Man 7 through 12, 152 pages, $19.99. Jonathan Hickman, Marco Cacchetto, David Messina, Matthew Wilson, Corey Petit. Now, my copy, I'll look at it here in a little bit. It does have a printing error. I don't know if every copy will. I'll show you here in a second because I have to talk about spoilers. So just in case you haven't read the first volume, I do have to talk about the setup for this universe and some of the things going on here, who our key players are, just in case you haven't read volume 1. Okay. But yeah, we'll look at the little printing error. It's not that it's missing pages. It actually has more pages, but you'll see what I'm talking about here in a second. Here are key players: Peter Parker, Mary Jane Watson, Richard Parker, May Parker. Who the heck are these kids? Well, in this universe, in this new Ultimate Universe, Spider-Man, Peter Parker, and Mary Jane Watson, the PR guru, are married, and they have 2 kids, Richard Parker and May Parker. Richard, of course, named after his father. In this universe, Aunt May died in a tragedy that happened, and you can find out how it happened in the Ultimate Invasion and in the Ultimate Spider-Man Volume 1 of this series. And then, of course, you have other key players. So you have Ben Parker now being the person that's kind of his, I don't want to say just moral compass, but also, you know, his mentor, his dad figure. J. Jonah Jameson and Gwen Stacy, although she plays a different part through here. Harry Osborn. Harry's parents were also killed. And then you have these 2 characters, Wilson Fisk and Otto Octavius. So we said that this collects issues 7 through 12. In the Ultimate Invasion and in Ultimates, if you haven't been reading that Denise Camp book is amazing. There is this idea that the Maker is coming back in a year's time. So in volume 1 of this, Peter Parker became Spider-Man for the first time when he was an older gentleman, because the maker took away people's powers or the ability to become superheroes for a reason that I'm not going to get into because, well, hasn't been thoroughly explained. I'm sure when that big event happens, we will all know. But the main thing is that he doesn't want superheroes to exist to destroy his plans. That's pretty much when you break it down. So you have a different universe where Gwen Stacy's alive, Mary Jane and her are friends. And you also have J. Jonah Jameson, who started a paper company, a newspaper company with Ben. That's right, Uncle Ben is alive. You still have villains, and they all have a little bit of a different twist to them. And this is the Green Goblin. So what this volume is about is I really like this volume because it focuses on the villains and the role they're playing. So we have this group of characters right here, like the Black Cat, Mr. Negative, Kraven the Hunter, the Kingpin, and Mole Man. We do have the reappearance of Iron Man saying, hey, how are those superpowers treating you? And again, it's all connected, but you can read it as a standalone story. J. Jonah, I love the role that he plays through here. He's a different type of character. He's not the character that you have seen in the 616 universe. He's a little bit more caring, a little bit more naive. And right now, what they're trying to do is figure out who this Green Goblin and Spider-Man are and what it has to do with the Maker's ultimate plan. Because normal people, regular folks in this universe don't know what the heck this plan that the Maker is going to be and how it's going to affect their lives. So this issue is freaking awesome. There's a little bit of a confrontation here between J. Jonah, Ben, and of course their business partner, Gwen Stacy. But also, they decide to make a new hip type of reporter and create this new hip type of reporter to do all this scandalous type of reporting that the youth wants to see. And the name they choose, well, if you read Spider-Man comics, you're going to get a smile on your face. Or maybe you're going to be like, wait, does that mean that there's not going to be this version of this character in this universe? Now, like all the other issues, it does end on a big cliffhanger that makes you go, oh, what's going to happen? And for all you monthly readers, I'm so jealous of you. This is such a great series. Yes, that is the Black Cat, which you saw on the cover, but what about her dad? Isn't he the Black Cat? Well, you could find out what exactly happens and how she becomes the new Black Cat. And, I have to talk about this right here. So the last issue in here, issue number 12 here, is a Christmas issue, and it is absolutely adorable. I love it. I love the relationship between the characters. I love this universe, and it just melts my heart to see, Mary Jane and Peter Parker married and having kids and still dealing with all these issues of like loss and worried about work. Now, something that happens here, because I've talked about a misprint, the ending of issue 11 right here, where Ben is talking to, this conversation was wonderful too, where he's talking to Peter, is printed here again in issue number 12. So I thought, wait, are they doing a flashback? It's the exact same, and then it starts over. So it's like, you get this again, right after they started collecting issue number 12. But worry not, issue number 12 is collected entirely again in the back here. So after this little misstep, again, that could be my copy. It could be every copy. I'm not sure. But just keep that in mind whenever you're reading. Don't freak out, because this is how I've been reading them in collected edition. And sure enough, it's all collected in here. The confrontation between MJ and her sister, by the way, in this issue, freaking amazing. All right, let's look in the back here for extras. So we have some variant covers. Sometimes the variant covers are on the opposite side of the standard edition cover. And those are all in thumbnail size. 152 pages, $19.99. Daredevil, Woman Without Fear, Bloody Reunion. Now, there was another trade paperback called Daredevil, Woman Without Fear that collected the miniseries that took place during Devil's Reign, and also this one here, yes, and also the Electro 100 issue written by the wonderful Anna Cinti. I'm hoping that gets collected in her, I guess it would be the second omnibus, or no, maybe, no, I think they're going to do 2 of her series in Daredevil. All right, Erica Schultz is the writer. Michael Dowling and Ivan Fiorelli are the artists. Dee Cunif is the colorist. And then over here you have Jan Basaldua and Cici de la Cruz doing the colors. And Saladin Ahmed writing Lost and Found, and Tommaso Bianchi doing the artwork here. Love this piece, by the way, of her. So this is still the story of the character known as, well, okay, hold on a second. Spoilers, I guess, if you don't know who is behind the mask, who's a woman without fear, just in case. Okay. It is Elektra Nachios, and she's been Daredevil since the Chip Zdarsky run. So there's 2 Daredevils running around. Why the hell not, right? We got all this Batman. We've had 2 different Superman, Wonder Woman, Wolverine. Sure, Daredevil. But I do love Elektra, and I love the big role that she's playing. So Alice is still with her, again, from Chip Zdarsky's run. And this story is really about bringing Alice back home. Like, she wants to be a big part of Elektra's life and be a vigilante like Elektra. But Elektra doesn't think that the life is going to suit her. Now, of course, it's not as easy as that. It's not that simple of a story. You still have a bunch of assassins that are going after her, namely people like Crossbones, and later on Count Nefaria gets in on the fun. And then, of course, traveling back to Madripoor, you do have the new Daredevil, the new Punisher that is coming after her. This is not Frank Castle. It's here, actually. Yeah, that piece is freaking beautiful. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Bill Sienkiewicz. This guy's Joe Garrison, who is the ex-S.H.I.E.L.D. operative that took on the mantle of the Punisher. Silvermane gets involved, and of course somebody is sending all these assassins after Daredevil, and that's what this is about. And also, like I mentioned, making sure that Alice has a home to live if she can't stay with Elektra. Now, in the back, there is the story Lost and Found right here, which is adorable. It is about this guy right here. Someone has taken his little girl, and as it turns out, the little girl is a dog. But it's an adorable little story. I dug it. And I think that's it. All the extras are in between the issues, all of the variant covers. So the book collects Daredevil Woman Without Fear, the 2024 series, 1 through 4. It has 120 pages and retails for $17.99. Another week, another new X-Men from the Ashes era book collected, and this is Phoenix Volume 1, Orbital Resonance. This is what the spine looks like. Again, the trade dress looking exactly like the other from the Ashes books. And this right here collects issues 1 through 5 of Phoenix. It has 128 pages. Hey, that's the other X-Men book. And it retails for $17.99. There's a quick recap about Phoenix and Jean Grey and how the Phoenix Force is with her now. Stephanie Phillips is the writer. Alessandro Miracolo and Marco Rena are the artists on the book. David Curiel doing the colors, and then lettering by Corey Petit. So it kicks off with a new beginning for Jean Grey. She is up in space, and the very first mission that she's on is going and trying to help out this race, this planet that is being destroyed because of a dying sun. So she absorbs the dying sun into her. Now, one unique thing about this that I really like, because you don't know exactly who's telling the narration at first, but I'll get to that here in a second. There is a narration here talking about how Adani, as you find out, is the daughter of this man that got killed. So you know that she is blaming Phoenix for the death of her father, and you'll find out why in the first issue. So I guess maybe spoilers for the first issue as to the setup of this. And they're all part of this Universal Church of Truth, which of course has been a big part of Marvel Comics since the days of Adam Warlock, like Jim Starlin's era of Adam Warlock. So that's one of the things that she does. Phoenix goes and helps out this planet. She absorbs this dying sun into her, which is just shows you exactly how powerful she is. So then we see the Killin 2, which is a prison. And over here, there's some personnel like Cade and this guy right here. That's right, Richard Rider, Nova, is part of the personnel. And this prison is holding some really powerful beings like Morg, at one time Herald of Galactus. And you'll see other characters that are part of this prison. And what's happening is that this black hole has been forming, and it's absorbing this prison along with the prisoners. So all of the correctional officers, I guess, if you will, and warden have decided to get out the prisoners and take them somewhere safe. Now, Jean is still in talks with Scott. Now, Scott, in the pages of X-Men, the Jen McKay run, has mentioned how his wife is just out in space. And you find out here exactly what her mission is. And, you know, they still love each other. She doesn't know how long she's going to be gone, because as soon as they're talking and about to get lovey-dovey with each other, there's a distress call, and the distress call is coming from none other than Nova. So off she goes to try to save these people. Now, one of the most interesting and unique characters to show up through here is this guy right here, the Dark God himself, Pericus. He was a character that was created in the Heroes Return Thor, so by Dan Jurgens and John Romita Jr., and he's here. He was held prisoner here. And he escapes on this little ship that was supposed to be for someone else. But anyway, Phoenix comes here to try to help Richard out and decides that she has a choice. The choice is the Killen 2, I think that's how you pronounce it, and everybody in it is about to be absorbed by this black hole and going to be destroyed. So she has a choice. She either goes after Pericus to capture him again, or save everybody. So it's pretty cool because, like, here she decides through the narrative that she is going to choose what her human side would have chosen, not the godliness of her, not the god side of her. So what happens, what Adani was talking about, was Pericus eventually lands on her planet, escaping the Phoenix and the black hole, and him being, you know, a dark god, kills and executes Adani's father. Now, there's a little foreshadowing as to things that are to come, but this will be Adani one day, and she is set on a mission to go and kill a god, go and kill Phoenix, because she holds her responsible for taking everything away from her. Yes, the Black Order are back, and so is Corsair, plus a few other surprises here. And man, this artwork is awesome. It kind of reminds me of like a young Olivier Coipel, which is a good thing. I love art like that. Big fan of artwork like that. So yes, Corsair and her, this is a funny, weird scene where Cyclops is talking to her and he's like, wait, my dad's with you? Don't trust him, he's a pirate. Wait, he's got his clothes off? Jean, don't talk to him! I was like, well, it's almost a little too creepy there, but, you know, Corsair is smooth. But Corsair is explaining that he's trying to do right by his family, he's trying to get something from this planet, and it was a mission from Game World, and again, maybe manipulating Jean into helping him. The Black Order is back because they're also seeking out what Corsair is seeking out. Love this variant. So some variants are on the opposite side of the standard edition cover. This is a reunion with Carol Danvers and a big celebration. There is a return of a villain here that I didn't see coming. But one of the big things that happens in this issue is it shows how powerful Jean Grey has become with the Phoenix. So there is a council that is meeting, and it is the Galactic Council, of course, with Gladiator here, and other representatives of different empires throughout the galaxy, talking about the dangers of the Phoenix. You know, whenever the Phoenix is involved, there's always going to be people that are like, she's going to get overpowered, she's going to become the Dark Phoenix one day. Maybe, right? Who knows? But anyway, that's what this is about. And let's look in the back here. Just a few extras. So we have some variant covers back here. Beautiful. I do like her outfit here. And then a classic outfit. A throwback, the Stormbreakers variant. Now again, the book has 128 pages and retails for $17.99. And it's come to be that part of the video where we look at all of the spines of the books coming out this week, and also a small reminder to hit that like button. It goes a long way for us here on the channel. Small thing you can do, but it does mean the world to us. Alright, let's continue with the overviews. Ultimate Spider-Man Epic Collection, Volume 1. Learning Curve. Now, this is the Ultimate Epic Collection, is what the label of this is, right here. Ultimate Epic Collection, then the back of the book. So the Ultimate collections of the Ultimate Universe look a little bit different. Like the trade dress look like this. They all have different colors. Fantastic Four, I believe, is going to be blue. But still following the trade dress, but they will definitely stand out. Obviously, they look different than your classic Epic Collection. So you have the classic Epic Collection that look like this. They all have the kind of same design. Of course, a different color based on the titles, right? And this line going across. Now, there's another Epic Collection, and that is the Modern Era Epic Collection, which these are not. So, to kind of give you an idea as to what all this looks like, I think the line is, of course, the big consistency through here. Epic Collection, the Modern Era Epic Collection, Ultimate Epic Collections here. The picture for the Modern and the Ultimates are in color, whereas this just has a tone, like whether it's a blue tone or yellow tone or green or red. You get the idea, but this is how it will look on your shelf in case you get all 3 eras of the Epic collections. Now, holding all those damn books up, I forgot which book I was talking about. I started talking about Ultimate X-Men, but I am here to talk about Ultimate Spider-Man Epic Collection, Volume 1, Learning Curve, a story that started in 2000, so 25 years ago. Collected in here is Ultimate Spider-Man 1 through 13. 352 pages, retailing for $39.99. So I've talked a lot about this. I've talked about the omnibus editions. I've talked about this in when we've done Old Reader, New Reader. And what this is Marvel in the year 2000, they were doing a lot of experimental things, trying to bring back, the characters, trying to bring the greatness back in the comics. And they kicked it off with things like the Marvel Knights, and then, of course, Max. And then they decided to do something called the Ultimate Universe, where it's a reimagining of these classic characters and their origins. And that's what this is. So this is the first 13 issues. So it's kind of like the first 2 story arcs of Ultimate Spider-Man. It is still Peter Parker getting bitten by a radioactive spider. However, in this universe, things are a little bit different. And it's a little bit slower. So if you're used to like the Amazing Fantasy 15 type of origin story, where it's all said and done in one issue, or not even the full issue, it's different because this first origin issue, you don't even see him in costume until like issue number 4. But yes, in this version, they're visiting Oscorp, and he does get bitten by a radioactive spider that he throws on Mary Jane. There was a small chance that she also could have been bitten. And what this radioactive spider does is give him powers. Now, Uncle Ben is still alive here, but much like the 616 universe, I guess spoilers for some of the things that happen through here. Things will repeat itself. Like, you can't get away from this curse of being Spider-Man, I think. Whether you're Ultimate Peter Parker, or Miles Morales, or 616 Peter Parker. So Peter, of course, starts gaining powers through here. Slowly, he starts discovering that he's got strength, that he can crawl through walls, that he's building muscles that kind of came out of nowhere, that he doesn't need his glasses anymore, that he's got this agility that he never had before, reflexes that he has no idea where they came from. And a lot of it, of course, he's like, wait, that spider, maybe it was experimental. Now, tragedy strikes, of course, which kind of teaches him a lesson. He starts making money here for Uncle Ben and Aunt May because they're about to lose their house. So he decides to start wrestling for money. And in here, you're going to see characters, if you're familiar with the origin of Spider-Man. So in the 616 universe. So he gets a new costume. Like the guy that owns the wrestling ring, he was like, look, man, that costume is dorky. You look like a dork. Wear this next time. So the guy kind of, made his costume for him. Of course, with some modifications later on. And slowly through here, you start seeing how some of the big characters that will become villains start their origin. But yes, the night that everything changes is when Uncle Ben gets shot. Right after having a huge argument with Peter Parker, Uncle Ben gets shot and killed. And life is never the same. So Peter Parker goes after this robber that killed his uncle, puts on the costume, and it's decided here that it's with great power comes great responsibility, right? Because he feels responsible for the death of his uncle, much like the 616 universe version. But like I said, taking a little bit longer, because that was like issue number 5. So we do have the attack of the Green Goblin through here. And Norman looking a little bit different than he does. And there he is, modifying his costume right here. If you've never read this, oh my gosh, you are in for a treat. Like, to a lot of my viewers, this is their segue into comics. This is the best way to get into a character. And I've heard this from so many, not just my viewers, but some of my friends. My wife loved this story when it was coming out. This is how she kind of came back to comics, was through the Ultimate Universe. So it goes without saying that this gets my seal of approval. Absolutely. If you don't have the Omnibus, if you don't have the Ultimate Collections, by the way, this is a redress of the Ultimate Collection Volume 1, but the Ultimate Collections were dropped, I know my cousin was picking them up. I don't even know if they made it past Volume 6 or 7. I don't think they made it that far. This, hopefully, like all the other moderns will, or all the other Epic Collections will sell better, and, they will finish out the series that will lead into the Miles Morales stuff. So if you're familiar with the 616 universe, of course, you're going to see a lot of familiar faces through here. You're going to think, wait, I've already read these kind of stories. But they are different. There's a little bit twist and turns with some of these characters. There's the Kingpin right here. A little bit of twist and turns with some of the good guys, too. And what happens when this young girl named Gwen Stacy gets in between Mary Jane and Peter Parker. And there's Electro, see? Looking a little different. I don't want to say the word edgier, because I don't think that's what they were doing. I don't think that's what Mark Bagley was doing when he was creating this. I will say that Ultimate Peter Parker, this version of Peter Parker, is a lot less careful with his secret identity than our version. In the back, you get, I say our version like I live in the damn 616 universe. You get the character designs, reimagining a lot of these characters, like Harry and Mary Jane right there, Flash Thompson and Kong. So you'll also have new characters through here. You'll have some new villains. Fancy Dan and Montana and Ox, of course. And there's the Shocker. And then some layouts and cover layouts. And that cover pencils there. And this is what the Ultimates will look like. That will be great. And that is Ultimate Spider-Man Volume 1, Learning Curve. Doom Treasury Edition. Man, it was close. It was close. There's some good comics that came out this week. Both of the Ultimate Spider-Mans. Phoenix was a lot of fun. Doom was phenomenal. This is the Treasury Edition. So it's bigger than the trim size of a trade paperback or, of course, your single issue. Just to kind of give you an idea of what it looks like. But this is Doom by Jonathan Hickman and Sanford Green. But also a couple of other extra stories in here. So what exactly is collected in this book? This book has Doom from 2024. It is a one-shot. And it has Fantastic Four 583 and Runaways, the 2015 Secret Wars Runaways, #1. The book has 160 pages and retails for $29.99. We'll look at the build here in a little bit, but this is Doom, the end of Doom. After a huge fight, he's dying, but so is the rest of the universe. So what exactly is going on? How did he get here? Well, you find out who ends up saving him is none other than his favorite member of the Richards family. Days of Doom, Sanford Green, Jonathan Hickman, Rochelle Rosenberg, Sanford Green on the colors, and Joe Caramagna on lettering. Valeria ends up saving him. So through a series of flashbacks, you find out that Doom decided to ride on a celestial body and fight against Galactus in this huge fight. And then once Doom lost against Galactus, and you can find out exactly why he lost. I actually like that excuse. Man, the artwork in here. I've been a huge fan of Sanford Green since Bitter Roots, so I was so looking forward to reading this, and it did not disappoint. The heroes and villains united to go and fight against Doom. Or not Doom, I'm sorry, Galactus. I'm so used to saying Doom. However, they lost too. So in this universe, in this galaxy, which could be ours, Galactus is trying to restart reality again, trying to restart the universe as Galactus has done many times before. So they failed. They failed in stopping him. So all hope that remains lies in Doom. And of course, Valeria helping him out to go and fight Galactus. And how exactly is he going to fight him? All kinds of Easter eggs if you're a fan of Marvel Comics and have been reading Marvel Comics for years. In the way that she makes his costume, what his new armor is made of, and the fight is so awesome. And then who his heralds are. I don't want to spoil anything else for you all. I just think this book was a lot of fun. We'll look at some of the extras here that I'll try not to show extras that spoil anything. But before that, also collected in here is Fantastic Four 583 in this big format. Of course, it's been collected in omnibus format before. Steve Epting is doing the artwork here with Paul Mounts on colors. And in this time, I think they collected this because it is showcasing the relationship between Valeria and Doom. You know, when her father and the rest of the heroes of Earth needed help, she makes a deal with Doom. And the deal is also because during this time, Doom has lost a lot of his intelligence. So she makes a deal with him. So this really shows the dichotomy between these two characters and how much respect they have for each other, even though she's a little girl. Man, do I love that story. The next one here is the Runaways, issue number 1. Now, this is in here because it is Sanford Green that drew this. It is written by N.D. Stevenson. And this is a reimagining of the world of the Runaways with Dr. Doom kind of like being in charge of this particular world. Because this is, you have characters like Jubilation Lee, you've got characters like Sana Strand and Megan Gwyn, Amadeus Cho that are part of this school. So it's almost like the Strange Academy or the new X-Men, the Academy X type of story, but like a Dr. Doom type of academy. So only one issue is collected in here. This has not been collected in omnibus format. I'm sure it will be one day, maybe in the 4th Battle Worlds omnibus. But it's collected in here because they wanted to showcase both a Jonathan Hickman story that he wrote and a Sanford Green story that he drew. And then, of course, let's go look at the extras. So the extras immediately happen after the main story. So here we have some of the extras, not all of them, like this piece right there by George Perez. You actually have the plot right here by Jonathan Hickman and going back and forth with Sanford Green about how, you know, how the story should be done. Let me make sure that I don't reveal too many spoilers here. This is the sketchbook of the character designs. Well, you already know Valeria, Doom, and Galactus take a part in the story. And then, of course, the other heroes. Man, this is such an awesome sketchbook here. And, you know, obscure characters, too, that we haven't seen for a while. Characters like, I don't know. I think obscure, what I think of, like, the Red Guard or, like, Union Jack or the New Warriors, for example, Power Pack. So it's really cool for him just to be drawing just about everyone in the Marvel Universe. Not big, heavy hitters, right? Like you would expect, like, Wolverine to be in just about every story. But look at this. This is just, like, his personal sketchbook of all these Marvel characters. Love stuff like this. All the different Spider-Men that show up through here. Guardians of the Galaxy. And some of the villains here. And then the layouts. So, let me make sure that there's finished stuff here. Okay, here we go. So, this is the original art, including the double-page spreads here. Which I want to say is just insanity. Woo! That is crazy. The black and white. Oh my gosh, that looks so good. Okay, so as far as the binding, it is glued binding, printed at the iMac printer in this thick, glossy paper stock. So let me just show you, like, there's just a little bit of bleed through. Very minimal. But what I wanted to show you, actually, no, let's go back to the beginning because we can just show that. The way the book glaze over. So you can see just minimal gutter loss right there. But that is it. That, as they say, is that. If you're interested in purchasing any of these books, don't forget to check out our sponsor, cheapgraphicnovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget that CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. And that was the content and page count of each of these releases coming out this week from Marvel Comics. In the comments down below, let me know which ones you are picking up, which ones you're hoping will get some kind of oversized treatment, whether deluxe edition or an omnibus edition, or any just kind of hardcover, if hardcover is your way to collect books. But which one are you mostly thrilled to read, whether for the first time or reread, because you haven't read them in years. And that's it, everybody. Check us out on Patreon and Spreadshop. Amazing ways to support the channel if you can do so. Stay healthy and safe out there. Much love.